anything else, I know the questions are going to come, so I'd rather get it out of the way. I think first and foremost, I really have nothing and can say nothing about it. This is in the university's hands. Obviously, we saw the university statement. They're going to wait for the written response from the judge. So that's where we're at with it. I wish I could give you more. I know you guys probably have a million questions about it. That's as far really as I can go with it today. We'll see where we're at tomorrow as we move forward, okay?
Not necessarily addressing his situation, but would you like to have him back?
I think this, Gary. I think all of our student athletes, I want what's best for them, and whatever that means, that remains to be determined, but I want what's best for them in every aspect of their life, whether it's on the football field, in the classroom, their personal life, whatever that is. So as the university makes their decision, then we'll make our decisions, the university make their decisions, and then we'll go with it.
What about Cope Fitzpatrick?
I don't know anything yet. Sorry.
Jabari Ruffin hasn't really seemed to do much the last couple of days. Is his knee bothering him?
No, not bothering him at all. This has been totally strategic in how we've been handling Jabari coming off of the knee injury. It's been not a whole lot different than Chad, very similar rep-wise. So it's just precautionary as we want to build his strength and confidence as we build towards the season. So it's been very strategic. It's nothing about anything lingering or anything bothering him or anything aggravated. It's been totally strategic on our part.
Can you tell them about Michael Hutchings? He had a pretty nice day today.
Yeah, he had the interception, had a nice hit on Ronald Jones there. Again, I think it speaks volumes to the depth that we have. You know, I mean, we're talking about Lamar coming back and Anthony Sarl, then we're talking about all these true freshmen, and then kind of wedged in between, there's a Michael Hutchings, there's a Olajuwon Tucker, there's a Chenna Nwosu. I mean, there's a lot of good players in between that too, and that's the value of having quality players and quality depth.
To what extent do you want to rotate on defense, and how critical is that with all of the hurry-up offenses?
Well, we want to rotate, and we want to rotate early in games so that late in games, at those critical moments, we have our best units out there and they're fresh and confident and can really go make their plays and be at their best in the most critical moments. So we're gonna sub early. We're gonna have really good rotations. Obviously, you know, as we move towards scrimmages, we can start to utilize some of those rotations. We're implementing them now. You see it in practice. You're seeing the defense is subbing a little bit differently than the offense, than traditionally just the same amount of time. We're trying to work a different rotation, and we'll see how far we can take it with that.
You got full pads on today. What were kind of your expectations, and what did you think of the team kind of rising up to that?
I always like the first day of pads. You know, in training camp, the first 2 days you're in your kind of t-shirt and shorts and helmet. Then you get the shoulder pads on. As we talked about, the third practice is always a little more fatigue sets in because of the collisions, and guys are kind of get used to hitting. Day 4, their energy starts to come back. Day 5, they're always fired up. It's full pads. We get to do pride drill and board drill and all that. I always laugh. They're excited to put full pads on now, and then late October and into November, I tell them we're in full pads, and you hear some moaning and groaning. So, but that's training camp, and that's the fun part about it. I thought it was a really good physical practice. I thought the guys were intense, they were competitive, but I thought their composure was really good. You know, so many times you put pads on the first time, and their sparks flare up and different things. I thought our guys competed really well today, but they were composed and they played good football, which was encouraging.
Did everyone make it through today without problems?
Yeah, we did great. The report was great. Devontae Nunnery had he's had a nagging Achilles that's not serious, but we pulled him out. Obviously, we really backed off Trey Madden today. He had 2 really heavy workloads the last 2 days. With an off day tomorrow, we felt like it was good to lighten him up today, day off tomorrow. I think Justin's close to returning as well, and that'll be good to have him back as well. Those, you know, our young backs have gotten a lot of carries here the last couple of days as well. Today was a great day for them. I thought said where it was interesting to see a guy who from day 1 in t-shirt and shorts to now we build the full pads. We haven't talked a lot about him. We've been talking about Ronald and Dominic, but all of a sudden you put that guy, he's a physical runner in full pads. You see why he was the player that he was in Texas. So that was pretty interesting to see as well.
You got a chance to see Ronald.
Yeah, he got out pretty good. He's definitely an electric speed guy, you know, and there's little things in his game that I think we can really improve upon with him. That's part of being a true freshman and 5 practices in, but that was a nice play to see.
Nancy compared said to Buck Allen. Do you see that comparison to you and the versatility that he offers?
I think there's a little bit of that. You know, I think that Buck was a guy sometimes didn't always wow you the same way. Like you go out in this, and you might not know some guys can flash a little bit more, but then you put them in pads and the game comes, and sometimes you appreciate a 4-yard run a little bit more, a 5-yard run a little bit more when you're in full pads and you're trying to move the ball and it's not just scripted plays. Instead, you see that in him. He falls forward, he gets kind of an extra yard or two, and sometimes you don't appreciate that all the time, but then you look at the stat sheet and you look at 2nd and 5 is a lot more appetizing as a play caller than 2nd and 7, and I think Ced gives us some of that.
What do you have anything special planned for tomorrow on the day off? I mean, are they off, or are you guys?
No, we're going to the
something?
movies tomorrow. We're going to the movies tomorrow. Should be fun. We're gonna see Straight Outta Compton tomorrow. Kind of fitting for us. Kind of fitting for our guys. But they're really excited. I will say that. You know, they're kind of, you know, that movie and that era and all that, I think, kind of plays into USC to some degree, and the support of SC and Dr. Dre and all this stuff. So our guys are excited to see it.
Dr. Dre.
What have you seen from Jordan Simmons?
I can't talk about all that stuff. Go right ahead.
From Jordan Simmons switching to defensive line, what have you seen?
I see a big man that's hard to move. I know that much. And that, like a lot of our defensive linemen right now, when you look at a lot of, you know, Delvon, I think, is playing at a high level. Claude, his game has gotten better here throughout camp. Obviously, Antoine being back, that's a big front unit. But all of those guys behind him are tough to move. And now with Jordan, he's just another one of them. And these are big physical guys that make our linebackers play faster. It's tougher to get to the second level because they don't have guys in their lap. So I've been pleased with Jordan. I think it's been a good move for him. You know, we're gonna, like I said before, we're gonna go through these first 11 days. It's been kind of our method with all of them, and really assess all of our guys after that 11th day to make it a fair assessment with the scrimmage, and then see if that's going to be permanent for him, or if there's some stuff he can do for us offensively.
When do you anticipate a scrimmage? Or do you...
Geez, you know that off the top of your head too? I'm trying to stare at my calendar
This
here.
weekend?
I know it's practice 11. I know we have one for sure.
Okay.
But I know we'll have some scrimmage aspects of practice throughout the weekend. I know that's coming, but I know for sure we have a scrimmage at practice 11.
Do you like what you're getting out of Darius Rogers right now?
Yeah, I think Darius is playing well. Obviously, that was great for him to make that play at the end of practice to win the finish challenge there. He's been making plays. I like the fact that Darius, you know, there was a play on 3rd down today, and I think it was 7-on-7. The ball went off his hand, and he was almost more upset that he didn't make the play. And in the past, I think a younger Darius might have just kind of clapped his hands and went back and lined up, but he expects himself to make those plays now, and that's encouraging. You know, he's been working hard, and like all the wideouts have, I think those guys are working hard. They're a big physical group. You know, Steven does his thing and Christian does his thing. The rest of those guys are really pretty physical guys. When you start talking about Juju, Daquan, Isaac, Darius, those 4 guys are big physical guys that are tough to defend one-on-one on the outside.
Coach, a little bit more athletic to you than before?
I think he's been working at it. You know, I think he's dedicated himself to the weight room. You know, he, like anything, as you get older, you mature, you find out what's important to you and where you put your extra time in. I think Darius is putting his extra time into football, and it shows. He's playing better.